tuning in. My name is Barbie Latavisi, your relationship and divorce strategist. I thought we'd talk a little bit about 8 reasons why it's better to be alone than in a bad relationship. Can you relate? I know many of us here can. And so earlier I had gone on Instagram and I had posted 8 reasons as to why. So tune into that. But I thought we'd talk a little bit about when one is in a bad relationship, one should consider terminating it and remaining alone. And why is it that we fear this so much? At least for a little bit of time, being alone could be so liberating. It's an experience that allows for the opportunity for self-discovery, that you may know what that change within you needs to be. So being in a bad relationship, it never fails to demonstrate the love and affection, if not immediately acknowledged within us, that can and will have just the most irreparable consequences with both in the relationship, can end up deeply hurt or emotionally wounded. If you're one of these people, I know what it feels like all too well. Being in a bad relationship, you will probably have gathered, that can be so exhausting. It's such an exhausting experience that has, great impact in one's mental, physical, emotional, and oftentimes has economical consequences. When one is in an unhealthy relationship, a place where you are unhappy, you truly should consider being happy and alone on your own. When one is single, the process that prepares you for the next relationship that will hopefully be a better one, it's a healthier one overall. So this is why I am sharing my 8 reasons and benefits that have proven being alone is much better than permanently, being in a bad one. Would you say? I 100% agree on that. So one of my very first points is you will have peace. You will get rid of all the contention and the fight that affects both of your mental state and body. When you are in a bad relationship, you're always bound to be stressed. And your cognitive mind just simply is so exhausted that you're like, okay, I just want to go rest. Your health in general deteriorates and could potentially cause premature health conditions. You do not deserve to be in a constant battle. All you need to do is say enough is enough and move forward with your life alone in total peace, because ultimately that peace is what's going to bring you joy. My number 2 point is you're able to better concentrate on your goals, your dreams, your ambitions. We all have those. Fighting to make one's dream a reality, it's already difficult. And it becomes more complicated when you're in a bad relationship that all you do is surround your spirit with great pain and suffering. Relatively, the one person also has their own aspirations, the other counterpart, the other partner, your partner, and goals, and you'll be forced to divvy your efforts with that, and that can even augment the exhausting aspect of trying to make things work in a very awkward situation. So by being alone, you can put all your energy towards your dreams and your goals. Perhaps it may just be better for you to find someone who will be better suited for you, that helps you achieve your dreams and your goals. Can you imagine for a moment how much stronger you will be and bring in to that next relationship, and having waited and achieved your goals? Can you imagine how wonderful of an experience that would be, not only just to you, but to the other person? So my 3rd point goes, no one can hurt you. Yeah, we can seem a little bit guarded, but in any relationship, you're exposed to the possibilities that someone will break your heart. Not always is the case, but mostly is. But in a bad relationship where stakes are high, you just don't want to get hurt. Getting hurt can cause emotional hurt and overcome it can be so incredibly difficult. So being alone, you have that ability to protect yourself from getting hurt again and again. And meanwhile, you're stopping all that pain that left you with that bad relationship. This does not mean that you should be alone forever. Please, that's not what I am insinuating here. What I'm trying to say is that it helps you process things in such a way where there's a mature level and you assess for yourself who you want, what you represent. No one really needs to rush to heal your pain or vice versa. Take your time. Brings me to point 4. You can work on loving yourself first. And I think this is probably one of my favorite ones because I will attest to no one is perfect. I am certainly not perfect, but when one is in a bad relationships, couples often try to impress one another. And so that relationship will thrive. But there's that honeymoon period, and then everything just kind of happens to unveil. You have a bad day at work, had a bad encounter, your children aren't behaving, whatever the case is, those come to fruition. So you may even think that the person is more intelligent, could be a little bit more attractive, a little stronger. They may have a little bit of money. So in your mind, you're thinking, the relationship's going to improve. But if you're certainly unhappy and it's not going to work, because ultimately you need to follow that intuition. And to believe that you are not sufficient or good enough could truly, and this is so huge, could impact your self-esteem. You cannot love anyone until you love yourself first. So by first being single, it will allow you to love yourself without others' opinions. You become confident about who you are and who you are becoming. Comes to point number 5. You can go anywhere you want, when you want, without having to report to anyone. Can you relate to this one? For the most part, bad relationships do not allow you to do or go certain events, that you really desire or that you're invited to, or places without even getting worked up or being armed in some form of drama or so. So when you're single, you can go wherever you want and stay as long as you want. You can travel, go out, or stay where you want. I know it sounds very selfish, but you need that time to ask yourself, give yourself permission, let alone consider the consequences of your actions in that relationship. You don't want people judging you for the things that you truly desire. So to be free to become and go as you please is much better than having to manage a bad relationship. Would you say? Goes to my point number 6. You will be free to meet the correct person for you. Yeah. In life, we seem to think that those who we've left behind were the perfect ones at the time, and we've outgrown them. So if you are in a bad relationship, which likely you are if you're listening to me, it's because you are in the wrong kind of relationship. And if it was the correct one, let me tell you, you would not be feeling bad at all. Just something to consider if you haven't done so already. It's very natural for a person to desire love. We all desire it. We all crave it. We all want to be united and together. Be attracted to your opposite. And although it may seem difficult to be single, please ensure to wait for that educated person that comes along. And by educated, I mean that is mature, that they do exist. In fact, you should not settle to be in a bad relationship. Don't lose hope that you will find that ideal person for you, regardless of how difficult it may seem to be single. Be single until you meet the person who is educated in relationships, who is seasoned, who understands, who has a level of compassion, understanding. Perhaps if you're a little bit more mature of an individual, maybe see how they interact with their children and determine for yourself what is best suited. You may be the type that may not want to have children in your life. So do not allow yourself to lose the ideal person because you're with the wrong one who took you off of the market. So really think about that. My point for number 7 is my first point. I had mentioned earlier that a bad relationship had a negative impact on your health due to the stress. Have you ever been there? Have you ever really thought to yourself, I'm getting sick, I can't deal with this? And that it left you with some really devastating consequences to your health? These could include, I got such a headache, I can't talk about anything. Or you get very anxious. It's like, what am I going to do next? You feel so fatigued, you're so tired, or you may be the kind that these are variable. Some go into a depressive state that require just be in bed all the time. Some may even get diabetes from it. There's heart problems that, the list just is endless. It'll go on and on. So avoid these health problems. When having a bad relationship, just embrace the fact that you're single, that you're learning, and that you will be able to have a beautiful life coming into the future. And my last point I wanted to share is number 8. Staying in a bad relationship is simply not worth it. You do not deserve to be miserable. And I want to reiterate that. You do not deserve to be miserable. In fact, no one deserves it. Not you or your counterpart. It can destroy your confidence level and self-esteem and self-respect, and they are difficult to get back once they are destroyed internally. It's not worth losing or compromising any of them for a bad relationship. Being single allows you to live your life, and it's important to keep that in mind. You become emotionally strong and healthy. When you're single, you can concentrate on work, the things that your goals, whatever it is that you desire to do, and make better decisions that will allow you to believe, mature and strengthen you for the time when you find that special one. There are endless bad relationships existing all over the world. And in many cases, these people are not necessarily bad or toxic. In fact, it's about not being compatible. Regardless of the reason it happens, the relationship will never work, not even if you're willing to sacrifice for it. It truly is not worth your peace and joy. So if you are in a bad relationship, you should seriously consider being single. A bad relationship has its serious consequences that carries physical, mental, emotional abuse. Love yourself first and put your health first and foremost. Making this decision will only help the person you may be with coming into the future. And also find that person that would be best suited for you. So don't look at single as being a bad thing. It is a beautiful experience where you get to discover you. You will learn a great deal about yourself, while at the same time, you get to heal and become a better person. You get to meet people. It's emotionally and mentally uplifting, and you will be ready once the one shows up for you. And this is my message to you. I wish you all the very best, and I will see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.